This is Bryan Murawski filling in for Gary. Exodus 6:16. Va'eleh shemot b'nei Levi letoladotam Gershon ukhat Rari Ushnei Chaye Levi Shiva Ushloshim At Shana. And these are the names of the sons of Levi according to their generations: Gershon and Kohath and Merari. And the years of life of Levi were 7 and 30 and 100 years, or just year. And that's typically how you'll see numbers written out in Hebrew. You'll start with the ones digit, so 7. You'll go to the tens digit, 30. And then the hundreds digit, in this case, is just 100. And then the word year at the end there. And that would equal 137 years of Levi's life. Now, one of the first things that we notice is, once again, there are no verbs in this verse. It's the third verse running without any verbs. We also notice the long introduction to Levi that's very different than what we saw in verse 14 and verse 16. In verse 14, these are the heads of their father's house, and these are the clans of Reuben. In verse 15, and the sons of Simeon, these are the clans of Simeon. Here we have a very expanded version of those two introductory verses. These are the names of the sons of Levi according to their generations. And you notice the toledot right here in the middle of that word, which relates to, and it maybe reminds us of, the toledot genealogies in the book of Genesis. So it appears that this genealogy is setting us up to think about Levi in terms of Genesis and those genealogies there, which started in Adam and traced us all the way to the descendants of Joseph. If we look at our genealogical chart, we remember verse 14 focused on Simeon, verse 14 on Reuben, verse 15 on Simeon and his notorious Canaanite woman that produced Shaul. And here in verse 16, the focus is on Levi, and with that extended introduction, and with Levi being the only one that we're told how many years he lived, it's clear that this genealogy is setting us up to think about Levi and his descendants more than any other descendant of Israel. And we'll see that that bears true as we go throughout this genealogy verse by verse.